Dave Bautista is an experienced assassin living a double life, falls in love. So all of a sudden, you got all these people out to get him. He's had a long life of bumping people off, might have picked up some enemies.
The fact that they're promoting it as from the producers of John Wick, that's always a little sketchy, I think, in my opinion, but this could be a lot of fun. J.J. Perry, he also directed Day Shift, the Kevin Hart vampire-killing Netflix film, so...
Oh, it was fine. Like all these things, it was fine.
It was fine.
There's only two ways out of the killer's game, Joseph.
Joe, are you okay?
I'm afraid I've got some bad news, Joe.
I'm calling in every hit on Europe, you hear me?
Let's move on to your number 8 film. This is The Killer's Game. This is coming out September
Number
13th.
9.
Dave Bautista. A bunch of familiar faces, including Sofia Boutella. This is including Pom Klementieff. It looks like a lot of fun. It's from the producers of John Wick, and it looks like a fairly familiar story to John Wick fans. Tell me about The Killers.
Here's the gag. Dave Bautista is an experienced assassin living a double life, falls in love, then finds out he has horrible sickness, decides to have himself bumped off in the way he lived, puts a contract out on himself. Of course, we find out, wait a second, you're not really sick, but you should get your eyes checked. That's a joke from the trailer, actually. But you kind of get the gag. So all of a sudden, you got all these people out to get him because he's had a long life of bumping people off, might have picked up some enemies, and now he can't call off the contract. Will he survive? Will he live a good life with his true love and all that other BS? I think this will be on the lower side of average, and I'd be happy with that. I think I'll enjoy it, but I am not expecting great things either. It'll really come down to how good the fight scenes, the action scenes are. But both, of course, Bautista, but Sofia Boutella and Pom Klementieff, they both have that experience. It'll be fun to see them have fun. But yeah, don't get me wrong, I am not expecting greatness of this. Will I see it in the theater? I hope to. I plan to. Because, again, this will be another one of those mediocrities, those average movies, those perfectly fine films that will look its best in the theater.
You know, it
will not age well on my big screen TV.
Yeah, very true. You know, when I watched the trailer for this the first time, it kind of got on the initial list of films that could make it onto my list.
Yeah,
but
lower on the list, but, still there.
Yeah, it didn't quite make it, though, because it does kind of have that feeling to me of being a tweener. Like, it kind of feels like a tweener where it's a nice low-budget film like John Wick was, but it kind of feels like it was initially intended for streaming. So the fact that we're getting a theatrical release on something that kind of feels like a streaming film, I kind of get Gray Man vibes, where it kind of feels like this is the type of film that should have had one more pass through the writer's room kind of thing to make it a feature film. So, and look, I'm not saying that this is going to be like the greatest character work ever, and the fact that they're promoting it as from the producers of John Wick, that's always a little sketchy, I think, in my opinion, but I do think this could be a lot of fun. Dave Bautista does, in general, have good taste in solo projects. So, I'm optimistic about this film. I'm not really planning on watching it in theaters, but this is the kind of thing that does feel like it's tailor-made for streaming. And if this is the kind of thing, though, that if it does get a lot of word of mouth of, oh my God, you have to go watch this, you have to go watch the action scenes in this on the big screen, I'll consider it, but I'm not planning on watching this as of now, at least. But, things could change.
I hope to see this in the theater. I can't make any promises, though. In part, there's some of this stuff is just not going to make it to Winnipeg. I suspect this will. It is a perfect multiplex, 4th theater down, maybe not in the big one, but one of the decent-sized ones. It'll appeal to the kids.
Do you get a lot of indie films?
To the 14 to 18-year-olds.
Do you get a lot of indie films in Winnipeg?
A fair bit. We've got enough theaters, and we do have an art house theater, but not as many as we used to. They're really only now 2 chains in Canada, and there's only one chain that has most of the theaters, and then there's another chain that has one multiplex. So really got restricted, but I happy to more elaborate on that on your next choice that I have an opinion on.
I did want to point out too that the director of this film is J.J. Perry. He also directed Day Shift, which was, I think, the Kevin Hart vampire killing Netflix film. So, and that looked like a comedy. I did not see that film, but it looked worth watching just from the trailer. So,
oh, it was fine. Like all these things, it was fine.
It was fine.
Perfectly fine. Like especially a lot of Netflix action flicks, sci-fi action flicks and that, you're getting great for Netflix.
Any optimism on the romantic vibes between Sofia Boutella and Dave Bautista?
Yeah, it's wait and see.
Yeah, exactly. So it looks like it might be fun. So what do you guys think of Dave Bautista's latest film? Does it look like a good low-budget action film, or does it just kind of look like a low-budget action film? Let me know in the comments section below this video. I've been Dragon Movie Guy. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.